Good afternoon. Can everybody hear me in the tents? If you haven't had a chance to sign in, we'd invite you to do so. We'd like to make sure that we get everybody that is here on the sign-in sheets. So the sign-up table is up here, right next to where I'm at. We're going to go ahead and get started with the program before the sprinkler comes all the way around and gets us wet. No, I'm just kidding. That's not going to happen. Don't worry about that. So it is my pleasure. We are very fortunate to have one of the most supportive presidents that we've come to enjoy in recent time. President Laurie Nichols is here. She is an extreme supporter of the land grant mission and what we do at the Research and Extension Centers. And so I'm not going to belabor this. I'm going to turn it over to President Laurie Nichols.
Thank you very much, Bret. And I just am here to give a very brief welcome to each of you. I want to begin by saying how excited I am that I'm here. I know that the field days that go on around the state are so critical to Wyoming's agriculture. And it's been fun for me to try to take these in over the last couple of years and see how our R&E centers across the state, and we have several of these, really help agriculture in the areas that they live in and the areas that they function in. And so today's Powell, and we shine a lot of light on the Bighorn Basin and the Powell R&E Center and really agriculture that happens up here. So I just want to begin by saying I grew up on a farm, and so I always enjoy doing this because I feel like I kind of go back to my roots and to what I grew up with, which was really growing up in a farm family where we had a diversified family farm. And every day I got up and went out and worked on the farm, and so I really enjoy the opportunity to kind of reconnect with my roots. It's really exciting for us to live the land grant mission, which we're doing today, and that is the idea of us bringing our research to you, so we get to showcase some of the great work that's happening here in Powell at the R&E Center, and it's an opportunity for producers to come and to not only participate in what we're doing, but to hear from you as well. And that's really what a land-grant university does, is we take research to the producers, but we hear about the issues, the problems, the situations you're in, and then try to bring that back into the Research and Extension Center so we can be responsive to you. And I hope you see that happen today, and certainly the conversations that go on are the key part of what makes a field day so very important. And so thank you for being here. Please fully participate. I look forward to getting a chance to visit with all of you. And just a big shout out to Bret and to all the people that work here in Powell, our faculty and our staff who make this day happen. Thank you so much for the work that you do. And thanks for being here. Have a great day.
Thank you, President Nichols. So it turns out I'm up on the agenda again because I'm serving as the Interim Dean for the College of Ag and Natural Resources. I want to give a quick update on that, so my apologies to some of you that have heard this earlier. In case you didn't know, about 1 year ago, our Associate Dean for Academic and Student Programs announced his retirement, and that position was being filled by Dean Gailey and Director Whipple, Director of the Extension Service. And in April, Dean Gailey announced that he was going to be retiring from the University of Wyoming effective June 30. About 1 hour later, Dr. Whipple announced his official retirement was going to occur on June 30. So as a result, that left academic and student programs without a leader. And so the provost recognized that that was a big hole to fill, and she made sure that we had an opportunity to fill that position with an interim. And so that interim position is filled by Dr. Laurie Means. Laurie's back on campus working with students and standing up a new advising center. As far as extension was concerned, Dr. Whipple had retired, and as you know, I'm serving as interim dean, and so we also had the experiment station that was without a director. So what we're doing is approaching this a little different than what you might expect. Neither one of those associate dean level positions and director positions are being filled with an interim, one individual at least. They're being filled with a 4-member team. We have the associate directors from the Extension, Dr. Kelly Crane, and he's recognizable usually back here, is one of those members, and Mary Kay is the other associate director for Extension that's filling that side of the house for Extension. Dr. John Tanaka is representing the experiment station, as is Brian Mealer, was around here. He's the director, oh, he's in the far back, is serving as the other person on that 4-member team representing the experiment station side of the house. They've been charged as a 4-member team, not only to share the responsibilities that are vacated from the directorships on each side of those houses, but also to explore how to more effectively integrate Extension and the experiment station in order to help the university stand up a new effort to be more engaged throughout the communities. And so they're essentially serving as a working group concurrently with taking on those extra administrative responsibilities. Some other changes. So as many of you know, I've served as the interim director of the Powell Research and Extension Center for a year and a half, maybe. And this position has been an interim on a fairly regular basis. The provost recognized that probably not in her best interest to have me continue to do that. And so she gave me permission to hire a director. The director of the Powell Research and Extension Center, effective August 1, will be Dr. Jim Heitholt, who's standing over here waving. Thank you, Jim, for stepping up. Kudos. Hey, you got a bark out of that. Good. So Dr. Heitholt is currently the head of Plant Sciences, the Department of Plant Sciences, and he will not be serving as the head of Plant Sciences when he moves up here. And so also effective August 1 is an interim in the Department of Plant Sciences head position, and that interim will be Dr. Scott Miller, here in the back in the yellow shirt. Now, Dr. Miller already serves as the department head of Ecosystem Science and Management. He will be serving in an interim capacity, in a dual capacity, as department head of Plant Sciences. This is not a merger of the two departments. Instead, it is an extra responsibility because Scott wanted some more things to do. Right, Scott? Okay. And then we also have one other interim appointment. Our longer-term head for Family and Consumer Sciences announced that he was leaving us for Louisiana State University. And so Chrissy Wade, Dr. Chrissy Wade, is going to step in and serve as the interim of Family and Consumer Sciences. Okay, so it sounds like a lot of changes. It is, but I also want to assure you that we have highly competent individuals in the 4-member team that I mentioned, and they will continue to serve in the same capacity that Dr. Whipple had served, and probably even better than I did when I was serving as the Associate Dean for Research and Director of the Experiment Station. Along those lines, some things that you also might want to be aware of on the academic and student program side of things. We've been given a charge to evaluate our current curriculum and determine whether or not that is sufficient for the future needs of our students and determine what might be best for the future of our students. So that, in addition to the experiment station extension, basically what we've been charged to do is to develop a roadmap that's going to lead the college to be successful into the future. And because the provost will be launching a search, a national search for a dean for the College of Ag and Natural Resources in the fall. So our charge is to have this roadmap in place so that when a dean is hired, they can begin to implement some of the recommendations that this team is providing. Okay. I also want to make sure that everybody's aware there's a lot of changes, but we will continue to serve in the same capacity that we have in the past with the resources that we have available. I do think that it's a really cool fact to know that the College of Ag and Natural Resources student numbers look fantastic this year. Our strategic plan had indicated a 5% increase as a target, and our initial numbers, Dr. Nichols, looks like we will hit a 5% increase in enrollment in the College of Ag and Natural Resources. That's coming. Thank you. And what's really cool is that's coming off of previous year where we saw an 8% increase. So we're seeing a really fairly large increase in student numbers, and I think we're above the university's average at this point with those percentage of increases, not necessarily total student numbers. Research is still strong. Our faculty are out there securing grants like Matt. They're doing great. And in the time that I served as the Associate Dean for Research, we've seen a 13.5% increase in the amount of dollars that our faculty have secured. And Dr. Nichols, that even occurs in the face of a declining faculty numbers. So we've got some extremely productive faculty, and kudos to them, and thank you to all of them that are here to share their research today. So there's not much really to report on the extension side of things other than they're still out there pounding the pavement, and they're there to serve you. Contact your local extension office if you have questions about anything, and if they don't have the answer right then, they will find you the answer. And so with that, I think Camby, are you still close? There you are. Camby is going to give you a rundown of what to expect and what you might want to pay attention to for this afternoon's program. Thank you very much.